YouTube, what's going on, and welcome to my 2015-2016 Barclays Premier League predictions video. In this video, I'm going to be hopefully predicting the Barclays Premier League table for the upcoming season kind of correctly, and I'm going to be starting from the bottom and making my way to the top. So if you don't really care about the bottom teams, please skip to a little bit over halfway through the video so you see my opinions on the better teams. But starting off at 20th, I'm going to go with Norwich City. They just don't have the strongest team. I mean, even though they have Gary Cooper and Cameron Jerome up top to rely on for goals, the midfield's kind of solid with Bradley Johansson and new signing Yusuf Malumbu also joining Nathan Redmond and Wes Houlihan in midfield. But the defense isn't very proven, and John Rennie will have lots to do in goal, and I think they just don't have a Barclays Premier League quality side. In 19th, I think Leicester City will come in there. James Vardy and new signing Shinji Okazaki should provide some goals, but the midfield is taking a major hit with Edison Cambiasso leaving the club. The defense is kind of solid and should improve with the new signing of Christian Fuchs joining Liam Moore and Kasper Schmeichel hoping to stop the goals, but I still don't think it's enough to have them stay up for a second straight season. And then 18th place, the final team that I predict is going to be making the drop back to the championship is going to be Bournemouth. They have an amazing attack with Callum Wilson, loan signing Christian Natsu from Chelsea, Matt Ritchie, and others. The midfield isn't the best, but Harry Arter is a solid player. The defense is getting better with new signings like Sylvan Diston, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep them up, and I think they barely miss staying in the Premier League. And then 17th, I'm going to be going with Sunderland. Jermaine Defoe and Stephen Fletcher will need to score goals if Sunderland want to remain in the BPL. The midfield, very similar to last year. Defense is a little bit improved with new signing Yunus Kabul from Tottenham, but I think they barely stay up to make it, as I have not been impressed with what they've been doing in the transfer market, and I think it's a rough season for Sunderland. And in 16th, I have Aston Villa. I think they're going to really struggle without stars Benteke and Delp, so I expect them to be one of the main teams to go through some kind of rough stages at the start, and I think they will barely have enough firepower to stay up with Tim Sherwood as their manager. And then 15th, I'm going with the third team that is getting promoted from the championship. I'm going with Watford. They brought in many amazing players in transfer window like Valen Barahimi, Etienne Capoue, Jose Habilas, Sebastian Proto, and Girondo. These stars join players like Troy Deeney as Watford attempt to stay in the BPL, and I think they will stay in the BPL with a very solid season. The one question about their team so far has been, can they all gel together? I think they will gel together, and I think they have the talent to stay in the BPL for this season. Now in 14th, I think it's going to be West Brom using players like Varela, Yusuf Mbulu, put pressure on Julian Lescott and Brownie Day to help them stay alive, and they really haven't improved the squad from last year at all. They haven't really made many major signings, so I think it's going to be another struggle for West Brom. And now in 13th, we're kind of going into a new tier. There's a big difference between, I think, West Brom and my 13th prediction, West Ham. Dimitri Payet is an amazing signing, but the Enner Valencia injury should be a major loss, and it will force Andy Carroll to provide goals this season. And also firing coach Big Sam and bringing in new coach makes West Ham a tough team to predict in the upcoming season because we don't know how they're going to play and how they're going to adjust, and it's their last season before they go into their new stadium, so it should be with a lot of excitement, but you don't want to have a very disappointing one and have a relegation battle if you're a West Ham fan. Now coming in at 12 is going to be Newcastle. They had a very disappointing prior season, but signing Anderlecht stars Alexander Mitrovic and Chancellor Mbemba, who are two very young talents, along with Dutch star Giorgio Wijnaldum, will make Newcastle a much stronger side for the upcoming season. I think they don't only stay in the BPL, I think they do it pretty easily with these three players that they sign. They should be a much improved team coming into next season, and they have an amazing coach as well. And coming in at number 11 is going to be Stoke City. They have very solid overall squad and good squad depth to help the Potters in their quest for European football. Former Wonder Kids Ibrahim Afellay and Bojan are finally finding form for Stoke, and they have one of the best home field advantages in the league. Just ask Liverpool about it. But I do think they kind of have a little bit of a disappointing season, finishing just outside the top 10, but it should be a decent year for all Stoke fans. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Crystal Palace. Yannick Bolasie should continue to grow as a player this season if he stays with the London club, and new signing from PSG, Johan Cabaye, will bring leadership and BPL experience to a young team with lots of ambition for the upcoming season. I wonder if new signing Bakary Saka will help the attack in any way, as they signed him on a pre-contract from his former club. I think this could be an exciting upcoming season, but next summer should be very worrisome for Palace fans as a Balassi exit seems soon on the horizon. That is like my it's that last statement is going to be like my like prediction and overall feel about the upcoming years. So I'm doing that for every one of the top 10 teams. So now coming in at number 9 is going to be Southampton. They surprised many people with such strong prior season. The defense is pretty solid with Jose Fonte, new signing Cedric, and also Ryan Bertrand, but losing guys like Toby Alderweireld, Morgan Schneiderlin, and also Nathaniel Klein, I believe, furthers the gap from them in the top six sides, and they also lose some key players that help them have one of the best defenses in the Barclays Premier League. And I don't think that Granzialo Pele will continue to score goals after an up and down first season in the BPL. All in all, I expect a disappointing upcoming season for Southampton fans as they just are going to feel the loss of their star players. Now in 8th, I have Swansea City. I think that they're finally going to adjust to losing Wilfred Boney for a whole season, and I believe Gylfi Sigurdsson will need to be great for Swansea to be as good as last year, but I think he will be very good. And new signings Andre Ayew and Eder should help the attack for the Welsh side. I really like Andre Ayew, a fantastic signing for Swansea, and I think it's another strong season for Swansea, further proving their strength in the Barclays Premier League. Now in 7th, I have Everton. They are coming off a very poor prior season with lots to prove in the BPL. English players like Ross Barkley and possibly John Stones are looking to make a difference for the club from Liverpool. Romelu Lukaku should have a bounce-back season, in my opinion, after he was pretty disappointing for Everton. And if James McCarthy stays at Everton, he should hold down the midfield if he does not move to a club like Tottenham. I expect a bounce-back year for Everton, finishing just behind their rivals. And in 6th, I do predict their rivals to come in there. I think it's Liverpool. I mean, I don't think that Brendan Rodgers can lead Liverpool into the Champions League, and losing Raheem Sterling puts even more pressure on Daniel Sturridge to stay healthy. And I also question how new signing Roberto Firmino will adjust to the BPL. He just doesn't seem like that type of player, and will Christian Benteke be better or worse with better options behind him? But is their defense any better than it really was last year with just a poor defense overall? I mean, their only signing that they really made was Nathaniel Klein, which should be a major improvement over Glenn Johnson. But is it James Milner and Jordan Henderson central midfield, one of the best in the BPL? It could easily be. But all in all, this season is going to be another disappointment in the eyes of ambitious Liverpool fans. But realistic fans will see the growth in their side as the year goes on. In 5th, I am going with Tottenham. That is the team that I support, and they replaced countless players that weren't performing, like Yunus Kabul, Etienne Capu, Vlad Chiriches, maybe Emmanuel Adebayor on loan. Somehow, like the team that they send on loan, I think it was West Brom, are somehow falling out, and hopefully soon to be Aaron Lennon and Roberto Soldado. They have a very light squad and are going to be relying on youngsters like Dele Alli and Alex Pritchard for lots of minutes. Our new signings, Kieran Trippier and Kevin Wimmer, going to break into the squad. Can Tottenham keep up-and-coming star left-back Danny Rose at Tottenham with Chelsea rumors? What will the defensive midfield look like? Will a guy like Sven Bender sign? Because if they don't, they're very weak at the position. And who's going to be the backup striker for Tottenham? Do they stick with Soldado and Adebayor? Or do they sign a guy like Saido Berahino, Xavier Hernandez, or Charlie Austin? I think Tottenham will fail to make the Champions League via Europa League or BPL, and Levian fans will be wondering if Pochettino is still the man for the job. I think he is, even though I do believe that we miss the Champions League this year. Now in 4th, I predict Man City come in 4th. I question if Sergio Aguero can continue to bag in goals without Stevan Jovetic and possibly Edin Dzeko. I mean, I really question what Raheem Sterling brings to City. I think he was massively overpaid. You knew he wanted to go out of Liverpool, so why would you pay Liverpool $50 million what they want for a guy who wants to come to you? I didn't really understand that. And I question if Vincent Kompany and Ekiem Mangala can bounce back from rough seasons. I don't think that they did enough to strengthen the squad for another title run, but if they do sign a guy like Kevin De Bruyne or Diego Godin, that would possibly gear them up for another title run. I think as Aguero and company gear up for another title run, they will eventually run out of gas and fall just short in one of the most exciting title races in recent memory, as I believe all 4 of the top 4 projected teams have a very good shot at winning the league. Now coming in at 3rd is going to be Arsenal. What do they need to get over the hump? I mean, is a star striker like Kareem Benzema the answer, or are guys like the Oxnard Walcott and Alexis Sanchez good enough? I really don't know. Do they really need a defensive midfielder? With many fans and experts saying that Arsenal need a defensive midfielder, but youngster Francis Coquelin is playing well with Aaron Ramsey, Mesut Ozil, and Santi Cazorla. Can Petr Cech be the difference as Arsenal try and catch his former club Chelsea? But I think at the end of the season, Arsenal fans will be questioning what went wrong again in their title chase. But St. Tottenham's Day continues again for all Gunner fans, and our Champions League streak remains intact. But it will be, all in all, possibly a disappointing season as they don't win the title. At number 2, I'm going with Chelsea. I don't think they're doing enough to keep their reign on the throne of the BPL. Is a new signing like Abdul Baba or Danny Rose a major upgrade to Felipe Luis? I don't think so. Is John Stones going to do anything even if they do sign him? Can Diego Costa and Eden Hazard still be brilliant like they have been for Chelsea? Will any youngsters like Lewis Baker or Ruben Loftus-Cheek emerge over the likes of Nemanja Matic and Cesc Fabregas? I think after the season, Jose Mourinho and all the fans will realize they didn't do enough in the transfer window, and it will cost them the BPL title, but it could be a whole lot worse than second if other teams like Manchester City, Arsenal, and United continue to make moves. Number 1, I'm going to be going with Man United. I'm not a Man United fan, and I know everyone doesn't like picking them, but I say why not? I don't think Arsenal have that killer instinct yet, and Chelsea are the same squad as last year. City might be even worse as their old squad is a year older. Guys like Morgan Schneiderlin, Bastian Schweinsteiger, and Andrew Herrera form one of the best midfields in recent BPL memory. I believe Darmian will fit in pretty well for United after the move from the Serie A side Torino. I am kind of worried about the losses of Falcao, Van Persie, and possibly Javier Hernandez to hurt the squad depth up front. But can reported signing Pedro fill in the gap that Di Maria left after going to PSG? I think he might be able to do almost as well as Di Maria did, as he had a very disappointing season. And I do think that youngsters Tyler Blackett and James Wilson will get some valuable minutes in the senior team. And I don't know what Memphis Depay will bring to an already loaded attack, but I do know that he's a very talented Dutch youngster, and I think that it's just a brilliant signing. And United have made a lot of great signings with Morgan Schneiderlin, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Memphis Depay, Matthew Darmian. I do think they're all already looking at another center back, possibly a guy like Nicolas Otamendi, and I think at the end of the day, Wayne Rooney will get on top of the BPL once again with United, winning the most contested title race in recent memory with all 4 top teams being very close. I think new signings Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger will lead United back to the glory days that the likes of Paul Scholes and the class of 92 achieved at the Red Devils. But that has been my 2015-2016 Barclays Premier League prediction video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe for more in real life soccer predictions video. I'm also going to be updating this a little bit after the transfer window closes, so sometime in early December. So yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'm out.